Your seat back into a table or upright and your seatbelt is fastened. As an exit needs to be clear and baggage.
Marshall, what the hell are you doing? Why are you licking your airplane seat? That's disgusting.
This is to ward off a plane crash. My nana told me the secret.
What? I have not heard of that before. That's crazy.
It's 100% foolproof, Lily. I have done this since I was a child, and I've never been in a plane crash. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 70th episode of Banana Q Podcast. And in this episode, we will be talking about superstitions. We Filipinos are, for some reason, a little bit superstitious, right?
Yeah, I think it's part of our culture. And New Year just happened, and a lot of superstitions are for this event. So why don't we start with that?
So, before we go to that, I would say that we learned most of these superstitions when we were young, right? And we get them from either our elder grandparents or somebody older, neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
In other cultures, if they hear something negative, a negative remark, say a financial misfortune or death, they would knock on wood.
Oh, yes,
But
yeah.
older Filipinos, they would spit on you, right?
Is that the case? I didn't know that they did that.
Buyag. They would say buyag, buyag.
Well, I didn't know about the spitting. I know about the buyag, but not the spitting. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember getting spat on by
Oh, my God.
some neighbors. It was a little bit, yeah, it's disgusting, right? But they say
Yeah.
that would help drive the misfortune away, and whatever it is said will not come true because of the buyag.
I see.
Buyag, buyag, buyag.
Yeah, buyag simbako. Yeah?
Buyag simbako.
So that's a
Simbako
Bisaya
pala.
Bisaya expression, right? And when I used to say that in Manila, they would like, "Huh, what are you saying?" Because buyag almost sounds like another word in Tagalog, which is actually sexual. So it's like, what are you saying? And then I have to explain, no. And then I have to explain that it's actually an expression, to ward off the evil eye, or bad luck.
So that means there's no Tagalog equivalent of buyag, right?
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
just
so.
So it's just a regional thing. It's just a Visayas and Mindanao superstition that if they hear a negative remark, then they would say buyag, buyag to counter the negative remark.
Exactly. So that's interesting, right? Within the Philippines, even within the Philippines, we have differences, different beliefs.
And you're right. A lot of these superstitions surround New Year's Eve, right? So we will start with New Year's Eve superstitions. And the first one is during New Year's Eve, we will fill our pockets with new bills and coins, and sometimes scatter coins around the house to welcome fortune. Did you do that when you were younger?
I don't think we did the actual physical money, but I remember one of my Filipino Chinese friends said that that was their belief. So maybe it's something that, we got from the Chinese. And he said that you needed to specifically have money in your wallet that ends in 8, right? Like, because of the number 8 is lucky, right? So, you should have like 800 pesos or something like that, whatever, in your wallet.
Ooh, interesting.
In relation to money, right? You also needed to pay all your debts before the new year.
Yeah, but I don't think everyone followed that
No.
because I still have people owing me money even longer after the New Year's Eve. So
You're right.
yes, it is a good practice to always pay your debts before the new year rolls out, but then, not everyone follows it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? These people who never paid you, they didn't pay you until now. Because the belief is that if you don't pay your debts, then you will be in debt, all throughout the year. And that's exactly what happened.
So it came true. So they are forever in debt.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my gosh.
No, I was just trying to think of a reason why they are not able to pay me. Maybe they forgot about it. And so in their minds, they didn't owe anything. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys follow the good practice of paying off your debts before the new year comes along.
Yeah, actually did that recently, just this new year, right before this new year. So my friends here in Hong Kong, we owed each other some stuff because we had the Christmas party. I said,
Mm.
well, you need to tell us how much we owe you because we are not supposed to have that before New Year. So
Mm.
we did that. So it is a Filipino belief, like we don't know if it's true or not, right? But then there's no harm, right? It's also just good
Mm.
to enter the year knowing full well that you don't owe anyone anything, that nobody hates you secretly because you
Mm.
owe them money. You know what I mean?
That's right. And you have no reason not to pay your debts because companies in the Philippines usually pay a 13th month pay, right? You
Oh,
get
yeah,
one
exactly.
full month of salary during December as a bonus. So you should
Yeah,
use
and there's
that
a
to
song
pay off.
about that, right?
Hmm?
Like, ibigay mo na ang aking Christmas bonus. I think it's a new song. That's probably why I don't know it.
No, I
I
don't know that
think
song.
it probably just happened, recently, in the past 5 years or so.
Mm.
Anyway, so that's not the only money-related superstition that we have. We really want to attract money, right? And
Mm.
prosperity in the coming year. So another one is to usually associate money with round objects. Maybe
Mm.
because coins around, like you mentioned, the physical coins that you scatter around the
Mm.
house. But aside from that, you can also use other round objects, right? You can wear polka dots, or
Mm.
you could prepare 12 round fruits. So one round fruit for each month of the year.
Is it 12 kinds of round fruits? I
Yeah,
don't
it's very
think I can
difficult, right?
name 12 round fruits because banana is not round, so it has to
No,
be something else.
like grape, melon, orange. Okay,
Orange,
I don't know. I don't really follow this,
lanzones.
so I don't know. Yeah, but I don't think lanzones is typically in season during Christmas
Yeah,
time.
you're right.
So probably not that. Yeah, I don't know, but some people do follow it, and probably they know. If you ask them, they can
Mm.
name 12 round fruits because they do it every year.
Well, everyone in our family during Christmas become rounder, so I don't know if that counts.
I don't think so.
It's usually like 1 week of festivities, right? Starting from
Mm,
Christmas all the way to New Year. You have a lot of
yes.
leftover. There's a lechon paksiw from the leftover lechon.
Yes.
And so people tend to get rounder and rounder
True.
leading towards New Year's Eve. So you don't need a lot of fruits, just, the people represent the round objects or
That's
things.
true. That could
Mm.
work. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then aside from round objects and fruits, one way to attract fortune is to turn on all the lights of the house and open all doors, windows, cabinets and drawers so that the good fortune would come in. Yeah, my aunt used to
Mm.
do this. And don't you have that drawer, special drawer in each house? I think we have it. And our
Oh,
parents
no.
would put all the kind of special ceramics on display, like plates, cups, and we never get to use them. They're just there on display.
Yes, I think.
And then I would ask, "Hey, how come we're never using that?" Oh, that's for special visitors. Hey, we've had those for like 10 years. We've never used them. That means we never had a special visitor. So those drawers, cabinets will be open once a year during Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, but I think that is a tendency, not just of Filipinos, but a lot of people like have special sets of plates, right? For, as you said, special guests. But then I guess it's expensive. That's why they're afraid to bring it out. But then it kind of defeats the purpose of having
Yeah.
those plates to begin with.
It's like having young adults have toys that are never opened out of the box, right? Because it's too
Exactly.
precious. That's why I don't open it. But it's supposed to be played with. It's a
Mhm.
toy. So it's just
Yes.
there on display. So I think that's the equivalent.
Okay, so this one is how to attract, right? So you open stuff to let the good fortune in. There's also a way to drive away the bad fortune or the evil spirits. So you're supposed to make as much noise as you can to scare away evil spirits. So we light firecrackers, blow on party horns, bang pots and pans together, and just do anything to make a loud noise. Did you do that? Like, what
Yeah.
would you do to make a loud noise?
I used to do firecrackers before. It's a little bit risky, but what I do is I would put a very long paper
Mm-hmm.
on top of the wick, the fuse of the firecracker, so that I have extended
I see, I see. So it's
range.
safer. Okay, got
It's
it.
safer, but then my friends won't do that practice, and so it's equally dangerous. But then again, my
Yeah.
parents would use the pots and pans, bang them together.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think my dad even would rev up the motorcycle, just
yes,
anything
yes, yes.
to make loud noise. Yeah, I think firecrackers, we stopped doing them after my brother got into an accident, right? There was this whistle bomb. Do you remember it was called the whistle bomb?
Yeah.
It's a kind of that makes a whistle, and then I think it doesn't stay put. So it went inside our gate and then it exploded on his
Mm.
foot. Luckily, he didn't like lose anything. It was bloody,
Mm.
but he was fine. Unlike I had this other neighbor, so he was a little boy at a time, and then for some reason, I don't know why he was holding on to a quitis. That's a rocket.
Yes.
It's a rocket thing, right? I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe nobody was looking at him, and then he probably thought it was like sparklers or something instead of a quitis, and it exploded on his hand, and he lost 3 fingers. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I think recently they've banned firecrackers in the Philippines. Am I right? Maybe
Yeah.
not all of them. I think there are just like the Super Lolo and all those dangerous ones, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I remember as well. I think
Mm.
President Rodrigo Duterte enforced that when he was president, because I remember in Davao, he kind of banned firecrackers as well.
Yeah. It's because there's really a lot of accidents, right? Like I remember before when you watch TV Patrol, there's always all this footage of all these people who were in the hospitals, right?
Mm.
So personally, I'm not a fan of firecrackers and get scared of them.
So that means this superstition is not true, right? You're supposed to drive out
Oh,
bad
yeah.
luck, but then bad luck happened to you. You lost 3
Yes.
fingers.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not true, guys. Apparently we have just what's the term? The
Yeah,
myth buster. We've just busted.
Busted this myth. It's a myth. It's not true. You don't drive away bad luck. Bad luck happens to you.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Next one is about height.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, if you jump 12 times at midnight during New Year's Eve, it will increase your height. Well, this is a myth as well. I've tried this a lot. A lot. Never happened to me.
I don't really remember that it was supposed to be 12. I only knew that you needed to jump. And why is it 12? Is it because of the 12 months of the year again? Or what is up with
Maybe
this?
because 12 inches is 1 foot. I don't know.
Maybe the reason why you never grew is did you make sure to count 12 times? Maybe you jumped more than 12 or
Oh.
less. That's why it didn't work.
You're right. I didn't count. So maybe if you fall short or exceed the 12,
Then yeah, it
then
doesn't
it
work.
doesn't happen. Oh,
Maybe.
it could be. It could be. You know what? I'll try that next year because I didn't jump. I stopped doing it when I realized my height is not, changing. It doesn't really work. Okay, let me try that again next year. Jump 12 times. But does it say like how much height? Like
No, it doesn't say, right? It's just that you're supposed to jump just so you will grow taller. And yes, I used to do that. And anyway, the last New Year superstition that we will discuss is something to do with cleanliness. Apparently, you're supposed to avoid washing and combing your hair to avoid bringing bad luck for the entire year. And not only that, you are not supposed to clean anything inside or outside the house on New Year's Day, or else you might sweep away the good fortune. It doesn't sound like this is a very New Year good luck thing, don't you think? Like, you're going to start the year with a dirty house and a dirty hair. And whoever came up with this superstition was probably just lazy, or, her mom told her, hey, you haven't combed your hair today. Oh, don't you know? Just kidding.
it's bad luck to comb your hair. You haven't cleaned the
Oh.
house. Well, Mama, don't you know it's bad luck to clean the house?
Yeah, I have a feeling it was something like that. Maybe she had a hangover or something from the night before, and she was just trying to come up with excuses, and somehow it became a superstition. Although personally, I don't remember hearing this superstition when I was growing up. How about you? Do you remember?
No, not really. I mean, we Filipinos, we get scolded by our parents if we don't clean up. or
Yeah,
anything.
this is actually from an article. So we're just boring through this article from sbs.com. And then we found that, we just wanted to lay it out there. Maybe there's somebody who is listening to us who actually heard this. Can you let us know? Maybe it's a Luzon thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. And then there are other superstitions that extend beyond the New Year's, and we have a lot. First, about food. Whenever there's a celebration, birthday, or whatever, we usually serve noodles because it symbolizes long life. And I noticed that this is not just a Filipino superstition, not just for Filipinos, but also in Japan. During New Year or birthdays, they would eat soba, like a buckwheat noodle. And it's the same. For them, it's like represents long life. So,
Oh, I see. I think this is also a Chinese belief. Also, I remember in Korea, when I was there, one of my colleagues there mentioned that they eat this specific birthday noodle as well. It has black sauce.
oh, black sauce.
I don't remember what it's called, but I think I've seen in K-dramas that they also eat that. So it's either that or the seaweed soup in the K-dramas anyway for birthday. So I think, yeah, maybe different Asian cultures, since we're the ones who like noodles, maybe that's why that's in our culture.
Do Koreans love the color black? Because they have black noodles and they also have black pink.
Maybe they do. All right. So another superstition is if you start clearing your plates from the dining table while someone is still eating, that person will end up not getting married. So in Singapore, I remember we had a culture shock when we moved there because it is the custom there for waiters to immediately clear all plates the moment they're emptied, right? Sometimes, even if they're not empty, actually, like, it just seems
What?
like, yeah, they would see like, oh, I'm gonna clear this. No, 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 we will still eat that. Like, there's just a little bit left. But actually, I remember there was an incident where my friend, I think he was Rodel, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, he had bought some food at a hawker. So he was eating, right? He had only eaten a little. And when he realized that he wanted to buy drinks, so he stood up to buy the drink. And then when he got back to his table, someone had already cleared his plate.
Oh. Oh, maybe it was the birds, no?
No, it wasn't. I think that was someone else. We know someone who told a story that the birds ate their food. So in Singapore, your food is in danger, either from the waiters who are very excited to clear the plates or the birds as well. So yeah.
But I could understand in a hawker situation or scenario because it's a high turnover area, right? They need people to empty the seat so that other people can dine in. So that's probably one of the reasons why they're too efficient.
Yeah, I think it's efficient. I mean, I'm used to that now and I understand why they're doing it. But, for Filipinos, I remember a friend even who, she was based in UK and she flew to Singapore for a vacation and we were eating somewhere and then, they were clearing our plates and she thought that was rude. So maybe in UK, they also don't do that. Maybe it's, I don't know, a Singapore thing. But it's more efficient though.
Same here in Japan, but it depends on the type of restaurants. Like, they really eat fast here. Like, if you go to a ramen shop or wherever, especially during rush hour, you are expected to finish eating fast. And so it makes sense. But if you go to a restaurant, depends on the type of restaurant as well.
I think it depends also if it's like, if it's a restaurant where you're eating a 5-course meal, they will clear it not immediately, but, after the end of every course, right? Which makes sense. But again, in the Philippines, that's not really a thing, right? Because we usually tend to put everything on the table and then eat them together, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in other cultures like Chinese, the rice is served last. And that's why Filipinos, again, who are not used to this, is like, I cannot start eating because where's the rice? They don't know that it's actually the last to be served. So yeah, that's quite funny.
That is quite interesting. And another superstition also related to food is about utensils. Now, if you accidentally drop a utensil, it's a sign that someone's coming. Someone's gonna visit you. If a spoon falls, it's a woman. And if it's a fork, it's a male. But what about if it's a knife?
I don't know.
Or a spork?
Yeah, I think then in that case, it could be, somebody who is either gay or lesbian, bisexual, or I don't know. There are a lot of different orientations now. So maybe one of those. But what if like a sandok, like what is a sandok? A ladle falls. What does that mean?
That means a big guy or a big woman
is
also
gonna
is
come.
I don't know who comes up with all these
Yeah.
superstitions, huh?
I think it's just fun. I suppose whoever came up with this and then it just kind of got retold. Another superstition is that you should not sleep while you are hungry because your spirit will go to a place where there is food, such as a caldero or a pot, and it will become trapped there. I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to say this actually, and I thought they had invented this to scare us into eating.
Mm.
But to my surprise, this was also tackled in an episode of Once Upon a Time.
Once upon a time.
Sa aking buhay. Yeah, so it's a Philippine fantasy anthology television series, and it was broadcasted on ABS-CBN. So the scenario is that, like, somebody went to bed without eating, and then in the middle of the night, his soul went out, right, to look for food. And he went into a pot, which was on top of the stove or something. And then when he went in there, the cover sealed the soul inside. So maybe this is actually a belief in a lot of places or something. Because why was that even there?
So there are two lessons to that story, right? One is actual food also replenishes your soul
Oh, yeah.
because the soul got hungry. And second, souls cannot pass through pots
For some reason.
for some reason, but they can pass through walls. Isn't that confusing?
Exactly. I don't know, man.
They can't escape a closed pot, but they can pass through walls. Isn't that absurd? That's a little bit strange.
Yes, it is.
I need to ask the albulario for the reason.
Yeah, maybe somebody will tell us.
So that means you can just sleep. Like if you really don't have money, right? You don't have money for food, then you just sleep so that your spirit will go hunt for food, and then when you wake up, you will be full, right?
Yeah, but you got trapped somewhere, right? That's the whole point. You don't wake up.
No, you just need to train your spirit to be smart.
Okay.
You know, don't eat food from a pot. Like go to Jollibee. They usually have food at the counter, right? Like go get that. There's no risk of getting trapped in a pot.
Okay.
Then when you wake up, you'll be like, I didn't eat dinner last night. How come when I burp, I can sense chicken joy? I can sense. So your spirit traveled.
Yes. Okay, why don't you try that experiment again?
Let me try that experiment. I don't know if my spirit can use the elevator.
Can your spirit fly to the Philippines? I mean, there's no Jollibee in Japan, so that means you need to train your...
That's a good point. That's a good point. The next one is also related to sleeping, and you should not sleep with a wet hair because it will make you blind. I don't think this is true.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because I've done this before.
When you used to have
And
hair, right?
When I used to have hair, and more so now, and the only thing I got was wet pillow, and that's it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know where this came from. Maybe whoever came up with this was trying to prevent people to have wet pillow. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the parents invested in an expensive memory foam pillow, and then they didn't want the kids to, destroy the memory foam of the pillow, and so hey, you should not sleep with wet hair, otherwise you'll get blind.
But the interesting part was I saw in another YouTube video, which was made by Koreans, that apparently it's also their belief. So it's an Asian
really?
thing. So I don't know why. So we don't know where the origin is. It's like the noodles from somewhere. And aside from that, we also have the belief of that's called the pasma, right?
Pasma?
Not related to hair, but if you're not supposed to bathe after undergoing activity, because mapasmo ka.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's supposedly no scientific evidence that backs that up.
Yeah, that's true, because here in Japan, even after like hiking, they prefer taking a shower and going into a public bath because it relaxes you. And then like I've been doing it as well and nothing has happened. I think it's the same with having a fever. Don't you think? Like in the Philippines, if you have a slight fever, you're not supposed to take a shower.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all right? It's fine.
So I think we're always just afraid of water. Okay, maybe not. That's not it. Or I think whoever came up with this seems to all be related to bathing. Whoever came up with this probably hates bathing at night or whatever.
So the same person who came up with the don't wash your hair and don't clean your house during New
Probably.
Year's Eve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the mother probably said, oh, you need to take a bath because you were hiking. Oh no, I cannot because mapas
No.
mo. Or another day she mentioned, and also I cannot bathe in the evening because I cannot go to bed with my wet hair. I will be blind. And then yeah, probably same person.
Then, uh, oh no.
The next one is sukob. So there are two kinds of sukob. There's sukob sa patay or death and sukob sa kasal or marriage. So sukob is the belief that if somebody dies or if somebody gets married within the immediate family members, you have to wait for a full year before getting married or else misfortune will arise from it. Be it loss of material possessions, divorce. Wait, there's no divorce in the Philippines. Why does it say divorce? Anyway, or worse, death. So this is actually the premise of that movie, Sukob, right? There was a movie with Chris Aquino and Claudine Barreto.
Sukob din ang kasal mo.
Yeah, so he said that the Sukob was kasal, which is wedding.
Wedding. Yeah.
The premise was that Chris Aquino's character got married within the same year that her sister, Claudine Barreto's character, got married as well. But the thing is, they didn't know that they were sisters because their father did not tell them that one of them was, what's anak sa labas in English? So they don't know. Daughter outside.
Bastard daughter. Daughter from another mother.
Yes. So that's the story. And then because they didn't know, they had like all of these bad luck happening to them. And it was a horror film though. So all the bad luck is all this scary stuff going on. So yeah, I don't think it's really like that in real life. I also read or heard that siblings, you get married, within the same year, one of you will get all the good luck and the other will get all the bad luck. Something like that. So it's like instead of getting all the good luck yourself, you need to share and somehow it becomes like that.
First of all, I think the parents came up with it because maybe the brides or whoever it is, right? Because weddings are expensive.
Yes.
And if two of your children are getting married on the same year, it's probably going to bankrupt the family.
Oh, that's true.
So it was like, oh, no, it's bad luck to have wedding in the same year. You should do yours next year.
Yeah.
Honey, it's bad luck. That's why.
Yeah. About the patay thing, the death. Maybe it's just like people really just felt that they couldn't celebrate. It didn't feel right to act happy soon after somebody in their family just died, right? Maybe that
yes,
makes
yes,
sense, I would think. I know someone who pushed her wedding because her groom's father died. They pushed it to exactly one day after the death anniversary, something like that. I guess there's also no harm in just doing that, right?
Yeah. I think it's just common courtesy. It's a weird kind of year if there's something so happy, like it's a wedding, it's a very grand event, and then if an occasion that follows a passing of somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Aside from sukob, there's also the practice that if you have an elder sister or brother, you're not supposed to get married ahead of them.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you need to pay them. Do you know how much you're supposed to pay? Because I've heard about that. I was like, why do you have to pay? And then the reasoning was, because you're technically getting ahead of your elder brother. Your elder brother or sister has to get married first. And because you're overtaking them, you need to pay them off.
Yeah, I think I've heard that, yes. And I think my friend, I don't remember if she actually paid her sister or they were just joking about this. But if she did pay her sister, it wasn't like a gigantic amount. It's like just a token amount. Speaking of, we also have this belief, right? Like if you give someone a wallet or a pair of shoes as a gift. I think the shoes is the one where they need to give you a token amount for the shoes. So it's technically you didn't really give it to them. So you like pay them 1 peso or something for the shoes.
Why is giving shoes bad?
I can't remember, but it's also a superstition.
Because you're driving them away? You're like giving them shoes so that they can run away from you?
Possible. I don't really recall, but I know that some people do that. You have to pay them a token amount, but usually just like 1 peso or something.
Just a symbol.
Yeah. Just to say that you didn't really receive it as a gift, that you paid for it with 1 peso,
I see. I thought the elder brother or sister have the kind of choice have the ability to command a payment. Say, oh, you're getting married ahead of me. Do you remember you have the T-shirt that I really like? Maybe you can give that as a payment.
No, because of that, then I should have asked my brother to pay me because he got married ahead of me.
He didn't pay you?
You know.
How dare he?
And how much was he supposed to pay me? We don't even know.
You have the right to demand, and plus interest.
That's interesting.
Another superstition surrounds the construction of a new house. There's a lot of superstition. Oh, if you're building a new house, you shouldn't build it on a dead-end lot. It should be facing east. It should be near body of water. There's a lot of superstition. And I think that's common in Eastern countries like China.
Yeah,
Malaysia
I was
probably
gonna
has-
say it's feng shui, right?
Yeah, feng shui. But in the Philippines, there's something very specific, and it's about the number of steps in the stairs. Like when you're building a house, the number of steps should not be divisible by 3.
Ooh,
And they call it oro, plata, mata.
what does that mean?
Oro is gold, plata is silver, mata is death.
Okay.
So that means if the steps is divisible by 3 and you count oro, plata, mata, oh, mata is death.
Okay.
So that means the best number of steps in a staircase is divisible by 3 plus 1. So there has to be a remainder 1 so that it becomes oro. If it's remainder 2 plata, it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's silver.
Yeah, not too bad.
But could have been better with gold. So just remove a final step.
Okay.
That would be dangerous though. It's like, hey, how come this last step is too high? Oh, we purposely removed the step so that it instead of plata it becomes mata.
No, oro.
Oh, sorry. Instead of plata, it becomes oro.
Oh,
Because if
gosh.
you add a step, it becomes mata, which is death.
Another superstition related to death. And the number 3 again is that, if you take a picture with 3 people, the middle person will die. What is up with that?
Simbako.
Buyag.
Buyag.
Yeah, I remember we didn't really believe in it, but just in case this superstition was true, when I was in high school, I had 2 best friends. So we would always have a lot of pictures together, right? To negate this possible curse, we always swap places, right? To make sure that,
What swap places?
for example, Monica and you and I are the best friends, right? So in the first photo, you are in the middle, right? Another picture, then Monica will be in the middle. And then the next picture, I will be in the middle. That way, nobody is the one who is constantly in the middle and who will die.
Right, that's practical now. It's doable now because we have digital cameras. But before, it must have been a pain in the ass, right? Because film and printing is expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, how come you need to take 3 versions of the... Oh, because nobody wants to be in the middle. That's why we need to take turns.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we didn't do 3 shots at the same time. It's like, for example, same event, we're at the JS prom. Obviously, you're not going to have just one picture that night, right? Like, next time when you're there in another, area or whatever, then you just shuffle. You just make sure to shuffle. That's
Oh,
all.
wow. So you remember, you try to... Hey, who was in the middle last time? Oh, I think it was you. Oh, really? You have to be sure. Otherwise, it will bring bad luck and death.
True. So odd.
So to close this, every country has their own superstition. But for as long as they don't do actual harm, it's harmless fun. I remember. There's this episode of How I Met Your Mother where Marshall would lick the airplane seat
I don't remember this.
right before takeoff.
Oh.
And then Lily was like, hey, that is so disgusting. Why are you doing that? And he said that, oh, it's a belief that I learned from my grandma that, licking the seat would prevent any plane crashes. And then Lily said, I don't believe that. And Marshall was like, I believe it because I've been doing it since I was a kid. I've never had a plane crash. How can you argue to that logic, D?
That's true. I mean, I think what he did though is, I think it's harmful
It's harmful. Yeah, it's very harmful.
because planes are very dirty, and then if
yeah,
you're
it's one of
gonna,
the dirtiest places.
yeah, if he licks the chair, he's gonna be able to ingest bacteria or COVID-19 or something, right? So I don't
Yeah.
think you should do that. But maybe the other things like, wearing polka dots on New Year, that's okay. But the firecrackers thing, that's harmful, right? So you shouldn't do that
Yes.
just because it's the superstitious belief. You just think, which is okay to do. Like until now, we still wear polka dots or jump up and down during New Year. That doesn't really hurt anyone. And, we're way past growing age, but it's become nostalgic, I would think, because it reminds us of our culture, right? Especially for us who are abroad. So when we're with Filipinos, celebrating New Year, like just as a laugh, we just jump up and down. We know we're not gonna grow, but it's just a
Yeah.
culture thing.
It's harmless unless, of course, you have a very low ceiling. Then it's dangerous. Or a weak floor and you live on the second floor, then it's dangerous for your neighbors downstairs. But yeah, whatever it is, for as long as it's not harmful, I don't think it's gonna do anyone danger or bad fortune.
Yep.
By the way, we are also interested in, the superstitions around the world. Like, if you're listening from another country, let us know.
Yeah.
Is there any parallel superstitions that we've discussed in this episode that also is true in your country? Or if there's anything totally different, please let us know.
Yeah. Maybe because, as we said, the Philippines has a lot of islands, and, maybe there's something that's being believed by the people in the north that wasn't believed in Visayas or Mindanao. So let us know.
Like Simbako. That one apparently is not in Luzon. That's just a Visayas and Mindanao
Yeah,
thing.
what is the equivalent of that in Luzon? Maybe there is. It's just a different phrase or something, right? We don't know. But anyway, there is another superstition. So supposedly, if you rate Banana Q Podcast 5 stars on Spotify or Apple, you will be lucky. So, if you do that, the next time you buy a Banana Q from your suking tindahan, your tindera will give you a Pinay Pie for free. Wow, isn't Pinay Pie more expensive? Anyway.
Yeah? So go ahead, please do it. Even if it doesn't come true, it's just harmless fun, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes. Bye.
Bye.